Hey guys, going to be using kind of older items today. This is a Semogue 1438, I believe. Just has a vintage look. It was purchased recently, but it's got this cool vintage look, and that's really kind of why I bought it. It's also an example of the extra grade hair, I believe. It may be best. I can't remember for sure, but it's an example of the lower grade hair that Semogue offers. And I'm experiencing that scrubbiness yet softness in that brush, and so that's interesting. This is the 66 vintage UK Gillette razor, the English versions of the Aristocrat. We'll look at that in more detail later. And we are working on the Nacet still. We are on the last decade before we hit 300. Here's the little dot for 291. So today is 292. So this is an old blade because this is Father's Day. And so the goal in today's Lather Games was to use something older than you. And that is why I have Cella here. As you can see, it was established in 1899. I'm sure the formulation's a little different, but it's good. It's a good soap. Still has that cherry scent. Marzipan, almond, cherry type classic Italian scent. The brush has been soaking. Wanted to show you something right quick. I soaked this too long, even in cold water, and there is a right there. I don't know if you can see that little crack right there. The water came up and saturated the wood underneath this enamel, and it expanded it a little bit, and so it gave that crack. So when you soak in any brush that's got a wooden handle, I'd advise you only to soak the bristles. I let the water get a little too high in that cup that day, and it sat for a while. But a little character, right? We'll keep on. All right, so it's been soaking for several minutes, so it's a nice hydrated brush. The bristles have absorbed that water, no problem. Now the aftershave today is not an old one, but it has a scent that is what I was chasing after when I wanted to try and find something in that blue scent, like the Aqua Velva, the old Aqua Velva. So this is Arko Cool, and I tried I think it represents that blue scent better than the Aqua Velva I recently purchased at Walmart. It was called Ice Blue Aqua Velva, and so I don't know if that is a different, they went a different direction with it, if it's supposed to be like the classic, but it just didn't really smell like what I remember. And so, but this guy right here, he does, and so that's why he is here today. Now we got Cella here. Let's do our usual 30-second load. And Cella does not like to. I tried to Marko Cella. Marko is when you come at it with a really wet brush, you load for a long time, and then you get this. And then you kind of face lather, generally with it. And the wetness of the brush with the bore brush I was using was so, it prevented the soap from really picking up. And so I'm definitely gonna, make sure to shake the water out of the brush. All right, we're starting at 35, so we'll go to 05. It'll probably be overloading, but that's all right. Immediately you can see some little airiness come up. That's all right. Medium pressure. 10 more seconds. And there we go. Rinse off. There's something cool about this red tub of Cella. I don't know. Don't know what it is. And this tub is one of the first, probably within the first 10 soaps I ever bought. Got it off Amazon. It's just the size, and I don't know, even maybe the way the cap fits. It's secure. It's a strong tub. And the scent and the knowledge that it's just a classic, Italian event or classic shaving event that you're participating in. So we'll just work this for a second, and then we will remember that we haven't put water on our face. There we go. probably a little bit more than a 24-hour growth today. So this is my Roger Quintero lather bowl. I'm not trying to advertise or anything because it's free after all. The plans are free, and there's a link in the video if you want to download them, then be able to print them with a 3D printer. So without adding much water, this kind of turns into a nice looking foam right away. But we need to hydrate it more. Let's just go ahead and add 2 teaspoons right away. So I think I do like the Vito's brand of the Italian kind of soap that has a similar scent to this. I think I like the performance a little better, but Cella's just a classic. So I'll definitely keep it around for a good while. Right now it's standing up pretty tall, getting kind of airy. That's 3 teaspoons, and that may be all we need. Just going to give it a good mixing. During the mixing portion, you may want to hit that gear icon on the YouTube video and change the playback speed if you would rather go through that part a little quicker. You can change it to 1.25, and I think that usually still lets you understand anything I say. It just gives you a little quicker video. 1.5, if I speak quickly, it's possible you may not be able to pick up on it because it's so fast. But of course that moves the video along much quicker. Yeah, it's got a lot of structure to it. Now he is bending a little bit. He's got some weight. He's starting to show his hydration there. So I think we're doing pretty good. It's a small brush, and sometimes he does get lost in this big bowl. But then one of the things you can do to mitigate that is turn the bowl so that it becomes a portion of the bowl that you're working in instead of the whole thing. Oh, let's feel the lather right now. See, that's not all that super slick. It's gotten all airy, and it's got a little bit of cushion, but the slickness just is not quite there. Now I'm curious, what happens if I keep adding water? Will it activate it? Let's just try it. Let's go for another. We got 4 teaspoons in it, and I have probably overwatered it, but maybe I haven't. And so Cella may just be one that I need to run drier than I think. But here's how we can rescue it. If that's what happens, I can just go back to the puck, load for a little bit longer, be fine. So we're just going to give this a good mix to make sure that the air and stuff has a chance maybe to get beat out of it. Love the scent. Some people don't, and I understand. Now in terms of appearance, this looks really good. Look how elastic that looks. Look how it collapses on itself. Look how flexible. But I believe it's going to be too thin. And who knows, I could have possibly added water a little too quickly. You know, I did shoot 2 teaspoons in right away. This may be a soap that doesn't appreciate that. All right, let's just go for it and see what happens. You know, actually the slickness did improve. Maybe it's because my fingers got wet, and so they are feeling a little better about that, but let's just see what happens. I haven't even put the blade in the razor yet. So just to show you, it's the same blade that I've been using. We have the 3 dots there. Now, I'll also take this chance to show you how do you tell this from the, one of the ways to tell this from, this is a cheaper Aristocrat. The original grouping was the 16, and it looks very similar to this. This has a diamond base plate, diamond shaped bevel right there. You see how it's wider in the middle, it gets narrower up here, and you can of course see it from the bottom as well. And then you know it's not a 16 and it's a 66. It also has the solid knob there. All right, so we'll put the Nacet in. Even though these hairs have some reasonable backbone, the tips are still pretty soft. So I don't get any scratchy feeling, anything like that. Now the oils in my face are probably going to cause this lather to dissipate pretty quickly here on the first pass, and that's okay. If I did some kind of pre-shave where I washed, then it would probably be better. But I just add some more soap. More lather, rather. Glad to get another use in on this brush. Been meaning to give him more uses so I can bring him into my borathon, a cycle of brushes I've been bringing up together to watch them all kind of grow as we use them at the same rate. I don't know if this guy's caught up yet or not. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Now, does this look like the a foamy lather from a spray can? No, it does not. Does it need to? Should it? Nope. All you need for a good shave is a nice, properly lubricated, thin layer on your skin. We've also given our skin enough time to absorb some of the lather. Have the lather also soften the bristles of your beard. And that's a couple of our goals as well. And this is obviously not a luxury lather because it just doesn't have that the viscosity and the feel, and so you could definitely load for longer or put a little bit less water in. Some light tugging. I find that generally with fresher blades, this razor is a nice shaver, kind of mid-range in terms of aggression, comfortable, but still a pretty good job of taking hairs down. So it's pretty efficient, and so I think it rides that line right between those two factors pretty well. All right, that's the first pass. Definitely don't want any excess water in my beard with this shave, since this lather is a bit on the wet side. My hands, in feeling my stubble while rinsing that first pass, very happy to report that a good bit was cut nicely. Now today is Father's Day here in America, and in the Lather Games, that's why we're using stuff older than you. And one of the surprise challenges of today was to just talk about a life lesson that your father has taught you. Well, you know, just a couple came to mind right away, but I sat down before the shave and gave it more thought. And they just really came rolling in, you know, because a good dad is going to just impact your life in so many ways. You know, mine taught me to, you know, keep your word. If you tell somebody you're going to do something, then you do it. Taught me the value of hard work, that you can get that reward once you've done the work. Jobs, you know, satisfaction with the work that you've done. Taught me about service, helping out your community. Little half rinse there. He volunteers a lot of his time to help other organizations, and he took us to church regularly, helped to build up our faith, and volunteered at different organizations at the church to help people out, because, you know, most of the people who work at a church are volunteers who love God and love the people. And so it's a great way to make friends, that kind of thing, as well, as just to help where it's needed. One of the, you know, the Father's blessing on your life comes in many forms, and so those are some really cool, serious, life-changing type principles. Also practicalities like home plumbing. He taught me fishing, different things like that. But here's one that I use a lot. If you have a soft drink and you're expecting the ice to run out, or you just maybe have some soft drinks in the car when you get thirsty, or maybe at work, and you're not able to add any ice, pick ones that are citrus flavored, not the colas, because they taste better lukewarm than the colas and the dark ones do. They can be much more refreshing when they're not on ice than the colas and the root beers and things like that. And I use that a lot. That came because he is a avid fisherman, loves to fish, and so he would go out with some drinks, and sometimes not really. He didn't want to take the time to put a cooler together with ice and stuff, and then this was long before these nice insulated tumblers that we all have now, or many of us have now. And so those things will keep a drink cold all day long, but this is before that, and so he would just grab a 6-pack of, you know, a lemon lime soda, or like Sprite or 7-Up, or back then, a long time ago, it was Faygo. And then those would taste good, even if they were lukewarm. All right, that's 3 passes. It definitely wasn't luxurious because, like I said, we didn't have that kind of, it was a really wet lather. 30 seconds looks like it was about the right amount of loading because look how wet this lather is. That was just, yeah, look at that, almost dripping. So Cella can be taken to this point easily. You can wet it. It held together. That's the mark of a good soap. It didn't break apart, but it didn't really offer much in terms of a luxury type feel. And that's okay. Just add a little bit less water next time. All right, I'm going to clean up. All right, while my skin is still wet. And this top here just pops off. It feels like it unscrews, but it doesn't. Quite a bit will come out quickly, so watch out there. This is definitely alcohol based. I don't think it has a lot of skin food, but it just smells like I remember the old classic blue type Aqua Velva smelling. And I got this as a part of a box of stuff that I purchased. I wouldn't have normally, you know, tried it. I'm so glad that it came in that box because I really, really enjoy it. This is how this little guy's looking now, kind of in his more natural state. He has been given a good shake out in the sink and then working on the towel. So you can see how much he's kind of started to splay over the uses. And we can go back, I've videoed him from day one, so we could go back and look at him back then, you know, and compare. I think some of the tips have split, but I think he's just a great little brush. Like so many of my razors these days, this left a little bit more length than I might like on my neck, on my kind of the trouble spot. Now, if I was able to go against the grain, it's very probable that I could take that down, but I can't. My neck is just too sensitive. I think what happens is that my hair may be firm enough, have enough strength to it where it actually lifts the skin up into the razor if I go against the grain on my neck, and then that causes cuts and irritation. So I just had to go with cross grain passes to do the best I can, but a reasonable shave, you know, not too bad. All right, enjoying the blue scent around me there, very nice, good shave. All right, there we go, folks. That's a well hydrated shave, a nice performance lather, just in case you want to use a straight razor, something like that, or if you just like it really really wet, then that's a good one. It wasn't so wet that it was dripping all over my shirt, but you could feel there wasn't quite the slickness there for the razor. It moved across my skin easily, but some people might want to thicken that up just a little bit. But it's good to see that Cella has the chops to hang in there even if you put a ton of water in it. So we did put 4 teaspoons of water in there, and that was for 30 seconds of loading. And that's what we got. Happy with that. Enjoying the aftershave and the almond type during the shave, the cooling blue after, just some classic shaving scents. And it's nice to be a part of that history. All right, well, we're done. Happy Father's Day to all you guys out there who are fathers or were fathers, and even you guys who wish you were fathers. And you know, some people take that for granted. And then some people have a hard time becoming fathers. And I wish you guys the best and hope that someday your wishes come true. All right. Hey, you take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. I hope that there is something in this video that helps you out. Have a good day.